Hi everyone, Anthony Caltano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Ibibio Sound Machine record, Electricity. This is a brand new LP from AFRO-FUNK futurists, Ibibio Sound Machine, their fourth overall and their third for the legendary indie label Merge Records. This project arrives after 2019's Dokomen, and also comes with a pretty exciting change of pace. Cause one of the coolest and most exciting aspects of Ibibio Sound Machine's music is the way they fuse African strains of funk with electronics and various shades of Western dance music. And nowhere is that combo more apparent on this new record, where miraculously the band takes on the legendary indie-tronic outfit Hot Chip to handle production. Given their respective styles, kind of a match made in heaven, though I was a little skeptical at first, with the song All That You Want being a lead single, which I felt like for Ibibio Sound Machine was almost too much of an electro-pop embrace, with some of the intricate drum work and horns taking more of a backseat to blaring analog synthesizers and kick and snare patterns that are pretty straightforward. But the more I've listened to this track, the more the song has grown on me. The band does completely nail this sparkling disco-tinged chorus. Eno Williams' vocal leads and harmonies are so standout and punchy, but then from there further singles showcased more fiery performances, as well as stronger West African influences. Like Protection from Evil, Eno Williams totally goes off on this one. The tension in her voice, which is intensified by all of these effects, driving beats, aggressive synth layers, all of which build and build and build until this final explosion of bass and drums and horns, plus the refrains of spiritual, invisible, protection from evil. I feel like I'm listening to a religious ritual soundtrack by Daft Punk. Then 17, 18, 19 is an addictive electro-funk anthem with one of the catchiest choruses on any Ibibio record so far. The cerebral spoken word passages are a nice touch too. So with this round of solid teasers, I think frankly Ibibio Sound Machine was coming off kind of revitalized. The worldly grooves and colorful electronics were assembling in a way that just felt bolder. But like on Dokomen, I'm finding that there are some deep cuts that are of a more mellow flavor and don't pack quite as much punch or progression, like on AFRO-FUNK Dokomen, which sonically is a very low-key oasis on the record. Eno Williams delivers one of her most beautiful vocal performances, but the band doesn't really seem to accompany it all that well. Color-wise, there's not much more here other than some splashes of reverb, some very light and distant vocal harmonies, as well as some quirky synthesizer touches here and there. And while that is fine, it doesn't make for a strong journey, especially with this track being almost 5 minutes. And the song Casio, while it may be a louder cut, it also feels like it's stuck in a rut. There is a lot of texture to the track between the light touches of distortion and squelchy synthesizers and raw drums. The track builds up a ton of tension, but doesn't seem to offload it into anything at any point, eventually becoming this directionless jam that in some sections feels a bit awkward. I think Almost Flying does a better job of bringing the ballad to its core through some sort of ascent. The serene atmosphere and heady house beats are a slight improvement, but the somewhat mild finish makes the full potential of the song unrealized. But Electricity may be the most perfectly crafted track on the entire LP in terms of delivering a message and contrasting subtle verses with these colorful bursts of synthesizers and drums just escalating along this really great gradual build. There are also loads of tracks in the second half I'd like to mention that feel like a new, improved, just harder hitting version of the Ibibio Sound Machine magic that we've heard on previous records. Whether that be the amazing Something We'll Remember, which has this hard, just celebratory Afro-funk start, a disco-inspired finish. Truth No Lie also feels like a track that could have landed on a previous Ibibio Sound Machine record, but now with this production, thanks in part to Hot Chip, it feels like it's giving more nods to 80s synth funk with a tight and fiery rock guitar solo on the back end. There are also a few neat outliers on the back end of the LP too. The song OYOYO is this really amazing Afro-funk rock fusion, which is mostly stripped of the beats and synthesizers that have colored much of the record thus far, which I guess is fine. We're getting more of an organic presentation on this one, feels more au natural. Either way, the song and performance on this one is catchy and captivating. And then Freedom is the closing track, one I would like to point out because it's a really interesting moment. Is it my favorite song on the LP? No, but I can't think of another artist or record that has so boldly tried to create what is essentially an electro-spiritual. Stylistically, it could be the equivalent of sticking a round peg into a square hole, or it could be a stroke of genius that we're yet to fully appreciate. I'm not sure yet. Part of me does feel like the sequenced rhythms throughout the track are a bit too rigid, but considering the place stylistically the vocals and vocal harmonies are coming from on this track, that almost seems to be the point. Again, I will give the track like an immense amount of points for creativity, and narratively I think this is a very positive sentiment for the entire record to end on. With that, I will say I very much enjoyed this record. It was a fun album to listen to. Ibibio Sound Machine stays one of the most fun and funky music groups out there today. Still vastly underappreciated as well, in my opinion, and I can only hope some of the bops on this record, as well as the Hot Chip tie-in, draws more of that well-deserved attention their way. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video for you to check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Ibibio Sound Machine, forever.